Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Our Simple Abundance here. This is our 2020 journey through Sarah Breathnach's book, Simple Abundance. And we are almost at the end of the year, but we still have a little more to go. I'm going to talk about a few of the late December entries today. And also, I grabbed my time capsule. The rose is tattered from a year of being on there. So I'm actually going to open this live. I have no idea what I wrote. I'll see if I feel like reading any of it out loud. If there's anything too personal, I will skip it or change names if I name anything. Okay. Dear Carolyn, it sure has been a tough time, and hopefully when you're reading this at the end of the year, things have turned out much better. I hope you've been able to reach for joy and move out of depression into a sense of hope for the future. No matter what happened with your business, I hope you're at peace and better off for it. I hope your debt is almost or fully paid off. Hopefully the job you're in now is fulfilling and paying well too. As I'm writing this, things with a certain someone remain unclear in the 3D, and hopefully whatever happens from here is positive and healing. There really is so much uncertainty right now, and as I think about this being read after so much is done, I can't even fully grasp how it's all going to happen. I hope you've remained strong and resilient, and that everyone in the family has been healthy. Hopefully you've been much healthier too. If you have had to move, I hope the new place is really nice and affordable too. It's hard to imagine leaving the lovely place we've loved, especially with the beautiful views and patio. I hope your vlog was a big success and that you felt it was rewarding and fun. I hope you went on some more postcard adventures this year and also took in more music and theater. I hope more than anything that you came back home to your authentic self. Rooting for you, and I'll see you when all this changes over. Yeah, I do have to say, I am glad to be on the other side of so much of all the things that happened this year. And it sure was even way more than I thought it was going to be when I wrote that letter. It's pretty interesting. I wonder if you did that. Did you write yourself a letter? I mean, within those words, I did say some of the things that I was hoping for when I said, hopefully this happened, or hopefully this happened. I like how at the end I said, hopefully you came back to your authentic self. I feel like I definitely am proud of the authenticity that I brought forth this year. And in fact, today, in a work situation, I was probably more honest than the person was expecting me to be, because I've been really vague about Christmas, but, this person at work just kept asking like, oh, so what did you do? And I mean, I could have lied and said that I had a wonderful day and that I watch movies or whatever, and I honestly didn't say how bad it really was, but I just was very honest and said I was having a tough time and it wasn't a good day for me, and then afterwards I felt really like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. I hope they don't treat me differently at work, but I walked away, and the reason I'm bringing it up is because I walked away thinking, actually in the end, that's me. I'm being honest. Like, it would have been totally inauthentic for me to just have lied and not really bared that I have struggles and that holidays are not easy for me sometimes. So yeah, I'm proud of that. I'm really proud to have sort of survived this year, and it's all because of my friends. It really is. I feel very, very special and loved. So, as we're coming to the end of the year, maybe if you didn't do a time capsule at the beginning of 2020, maybe you could write one now and get it ready. It doesn't have to be a written thing, actually. Remember, you can draw a picture, you could make a vision board. I was thinking about redoing my treasure map on my fridge for 2021. I am thinking a lot about 2021. And Sarah's entry about creating the life that you want is a good one for the timing of the end of the year, as we're thinking about this is probably the time when we do think about it's a fresh, clean slate on January 1st, and what kind of year do we want to have? Have you been thinking about your special word? Are you going to do that? I'll share more about that in another video about my word, shine. So, oh, and you know what I didn't say too, and just one more thing about Christmas, that Sarah shared. In her Joyful Simplicities for December, she mentioned a nativity tray. And when I was reading those, I said I didn't remember what that was. And I wish I had said this on the Christmas video, but I wasn't really looking through the old book on that day. And there's an entry in there about the nativity tray in more detail. And so she tells us that legend has it that if you go out under the stars on the night of the nativity, which would be Christmas Eve, and you bring, listen to this, she says, if you bring a bone, a wisp of hay for a shivering horse, a warm cloak for a stranded wayfarer, a garland of bright berries for one who has worn chains, a dish of crumbs for all huddled birds who thought their song was dead, and sweet meats for little children who peer from lonely windows. Whoever prepares this simply abundant tray, and this is a quote, shall be proffered and returned gifts of such an astonishment as will reveal the hues of a peacock and the harmonies of heaven. I wonder who she's quoting here. I don't know. There's actually not a source of that, but that must be from the legend, maybe. So every Christmas Eve, she makes up this tray. She has a special tray that she brings out. I like that idea. Even just putting out an offering for nature, whether it's all those other things, but that's kind of a neat thing to do, to go out under the stars. And she says she looks up and she looks for a star and she thinks, is that the star? Did any of you guys see the great conjunction? I saw online there were some really neat videos of through big telescopes. It's pretty cool to see the planets so up close, where they look like the pictures, you know, that you see on the posters in science class or whatever. Like to actually see it and to see Saturn sort of like shaking and the rings going around. It's a pretty amazing world we live in. So then back to the one that I mentioned. The courage to create the world that you want. Did you create a world that you wanted this year, or do you feel like, let's do it next year? I'm sort of like that. I'm like, all right, there's not so much uncertainty anymore. Now I feel like maybe I can come to a place of creation. We'll see. And so Sarah mentions that we have to be courageous. We know about being courageous, right? We become authentic the same way we become courageous, she says. By doing it, not by thinking about it. That's true. It's not like, well, sometimes you might think, I'm going to be brave. But I don't know if you always think, I'm going to be authentic. You might think about it after the fact, like that example that I used, and just said, well, I was just being authentic. And she talks about, Kwanzaa. You know how I mentioned Hanukkah as well? I didn't mean to leave out Kwanzaa. And I don't know a ton about Kwanzaa, but I really like this part of it. So it's a 7-day celebration, and it starts, I guess, always on the 26th, so right after Christmas. And it's observed by lighting a candle each night to honor a specific value. And the values are in order: unity, self-determination, cooperative work and responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and faith. There is no prescribed way to celebrate Kwanzaa except with great festivity. Isn't that cool? That's a really neat thought. And you could make any sort of a ritual, I guess, if you will, through this with some ideas about the candles. Maybe on New Year's you think about doing something like that. Thinking about some of the things that you're hoping for the new year. Actually, the candles would go really great with my shine word for 2021. Not all of us celebrate Kwanzaa, Sarah says, but the courage to embrace authenticity with joyful unrestraint is certainly something to celebrate by lighting a candle, raising a glass, and doing something completely unexpected that lifts our spirits. Yeah. I think I'm gonna stop there. I've talked about the nativity entry. Oh no, wait, there was one more that I put the bookmark in, but it wasn't in the new book. It's in the older book, and it's called Two Lives. And she references one of my favorite movies, The Natural, with Robert Redford. Have you guys seen that? And I think maybe it's so dated that I could see why she didn't put this in the new book, because she talks about one of the characters in that movie, Glenn Close's character, says at one point, she says, I believe we have two lives. The life that we are given, and, the life that we learn with, and the life that we live after that. What do you think about that? If you, like, I'm probably living in the life that I'm learning with, and then maybe I'll be living in the life next that I have to live with. I don't know. But so Sarah discusses this thought, and then also there's another thing that she pulls in. Every morning we're given the opportunity to choose which class it will be for the next 24 hours. Real life or real life. In each class there will be unexpected pop quizzes. Some of us are not given advance notice of when the final exam is scheduled. Some students are more fortunate. There's no way of knowing which group we're in. There's a quote from Joseph Campbell. We must be willing to get rid of the life we've planned so as to have the life that is waiting for us. Yeah, that's really good advice. I should probably put that up somewhere. That's one thing I'm struggling with right now, and I've said it to you guys before. It's like I keep thinking like this is not what I thought my life was going to be like right now. But I have to let that go. I have to have the courage to create a new life. Let me know what you think about this. I hope you remember to open your time capsule. And I'm doing it a little bit early because I wanted to incorporate it into this video, but you could always wait until New Year's Eve to do that too. I hope you have something planned to commemorate the change. I'll come back to you before the end of the year, and we'll talk probably one or two more videos, because I still want to do a video about 2021 probably before the end of this year. Thanks for joining me, and welcome to some of the new subscribers that I'm seeing in the last week or so. And stick around, because the channel will still be here in 2021, and there's hours and hours and hours, over 200 videos from 2020 to watch if you're just joining us now. I love you all, and I will see you on the next video.